My guest, Senator Roger Wicker, is the ranking Republican on the Senate Armed Services Committee. He's posted a statement this morning, which I thought was very moving. Good morning, Senator. Welcome back. It is a dark day to remember, but I'm glad that you have done so online and are joining me this morning. Former President
Hugh,
Trump is
thanks.
coming along at the bottom of the hour to do the same.
Thanks for having me on. Glad to do it.
Senator, my biggest fear about a Harris presidency, I think Donald Trump's going to win, but if he didn't, is that we would fall so far behind China that we could not catch up again. Do you share my fear?
Well, if it's any indication of how her party has done with their leader in the U.S. Senate, yes, it is very much a concern. Every time we wanted to spend a few extra dollars to a few percentage points of our huge economy to defend ourselves, the Democrats say, well, we won't do that unless we can increase domestic spending too. So it's been like pulling teeth.
Now,
Getting
Senator,
a few extra ships built.
we absolutely have to expand shipbuilding. You have a plan. I recently went down the Kennebec River past three of the Zumwalt class destroyers, and they're great ships, but there are only three of them.
That's right, and China has 200 times the Navy shipbuilding capacity we do. When you talk about we need to increase our number of fighter jets or submarines or warships, some people say, well, we don't even have the industrial capacity. We don't have enough manufacturing plants. And of course, the answer to that is let's get some. We're going to have to increase our national defense to keep us out of a war. The idea is to keep the peace by being so strong, nobody will take a chance on us.
There were seven during World War II. There were seven shipyards in the Kennebec. Now there's one. If you're the chairman of Armed Services, if the Republicans win, and Senator Collins is the chairman of Appropriations, what do you expect we'll see in terms of a Pentagon budget increase?
Well, of course, we're going to need very much a president who is in charge of the Office of Management and Budget. That's the main entity that we've had to fight on this. But what we need to do, and what I've advocated, and what military experts, past and present, are saying is we need to go back to Ronald Reagan's peace through strength, and that does involve about 5% of our economy used to get us ready to defend ourselves in a war. We can spend 95% of our funds elsewhere, but if we spend 5% of our gross domestic product on defending America, we can save hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars by staying out of a war.
Senator Wicker, there's the CHIPS Act is on the table in the Senate. There's the Area 52 plan to turn Lake Michigan into the modern equivalent of testing our underwater submersibles. There's the need for submarine construction. How soon can we get any and all of that done? I mean, how fast can we go?
We can go faster, and here's an example. We gave $3.4 billion in a supplemental bill to help increase our submarine industrial base. The fact is, we really haven't seen much action in the 9 or 10 months since that was enacted. So, we're going to need to provide the funds, and the U.S. Congress it does have the power of the purse. After that, it's up to the administration to implement that. And the last time our Senate Republicans met with President Trump, he was very clear that he shared our determination to increase our Navy and get it back up to the point where we're able to protect America and deter somebody from attacking us.
Do there have
So
to
that
be
was very much of an encouraging statement from President Trump.
Do there have to be serious authorizations in a reconciliation process, for example, for the Pentagon to clear away its contracting obstacles? Because it's a mess. It's 50 years of accumulated barnacles on contracting, and it's a mess.
You're absolutely right, and we see that in what's going on with our allies around the world, whether it be the assistance that we're providing to the people in Ukraine trying to protect their borders, or the assistance we're providing to the international Jewish community to try to protect the one Jewish state in the world. It is a very cumbersome bureaucratic system, and it needs to be speeded up. Frankly, what we need to do is we need to the administration needs to send some of our best military experts into these industrial complexes and help them figure out a way to get the job done quicker. And I've made the suggestion to Jake Sullivan: pick 100 high-ranking defense industrial experts, and tell these big companies we will send them into your factories and shipyards and help you figure out a way to do this quicker.
So, Senator, you mentioned Israel, and we are, of course, commemorating 10/7 today, and I'll do so with former President Trump when he's on at the bottom of the hour. I want to ask you about the upcoming retaliation against Iran. All President Biden has said is you can't hit this, you can't hit that, don't think about this. Is that any way to support our ally?
It is no way to support our allies. And remember this: the attack 1 year ago today was an attack on a civilian concert with Americans present and killed at the concert. 1,200 innocent civilians were killed in the most brutal way. Babies were burned alive. I'm sorry I'm having to say this publicly. Women were raped. People were beheaded in an animalistic terrorist raid meant to shock the Israelis, I suppose, into leaving the area. There's no way, after all the Israelis have encountered over 70 years and all the things the Jewish people have encountered over the centuries, there's no way Israel is going to give up its right to that tiny little piece of real estate in the Middle East. And so, as a matter of fact, I think Netanyahu is doing the world a favor by saying, I'm going to totally eliminate these Iranian-backed terrorists, Hamas, the Houthis, that are firing weapons on American ships. And Hezbollah, the largest terrorist group in Lebanon, that's why he's going into Lebanon. And I'll tell you this, Lebanon will be far, far better off when and if Hezbollah is completely removed from their country. Then they can get back to being a self-governing republic again. But right now, this Iranian-backed terrorist group is basically running Lebanon around by the nose. They really don't have charge of their country.
Now, the parasitical organization that is Hezbollah is going to be reduced by Israel, I hope, to the point that Lebanon can reassert its sovereignty against Iran. Senator Wicker, thank you. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I look forward to your service as chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee in the next Senate if people
Hugh.
vote the right way.
Good to be back. Good to be back on Salem Radio with you.
Thank you, sir.